Let's go ahead and create a very simple TCP server bound to port number 10,000 using netcat. So it's very simple to do that. Netcat -l, it says start listening, and then give it the port, right? It's that simple. Now let's go ahead to some other terminal and connect to the netcat server which you just created, right? So because we are bound to localhost, let's give 127.0.0.1, then go ahead and connect to it. Now if you notice we are connected here, let me type something on the client side, hi, and let's switch to the server side console. If you notice we've received the hi. Now let's make this slightly more verbose, right? Because currently neither the server nor the client are actually telling us anything as to what is happening. So if you notice, now netcat is more verbose and says that I'm listening on all interfaces on port number 10,000. Now let's me go ahead and connect the client. Now we get a message here saying that somebody has connected from 127.0.0.1 to us, right? And that is his port number. So let's go ahead and now send a message. Now we go ahead and receive these messages. So just with a very simple command, we were able to connect a TCP server. Now the point to notice is that netcat can create both TCP as well as UDP based servers, as well as clients. So by default, if you mention the -l option with a port, a TCP server is created. If you explicitly mention -u both for the client as well as for the server side, then a UDP based connection would be created, right? So now let's go ahead and add a few tweaks. So we've just created our server, but the slight problem is that we want that as soon as a server is running and a client connects to it, some sort of a banner should be sent out to that client. So how can we do that? Now this is the terminal where we are running netcat in the server side mode. Let's go ahead and add a simple welcome message. Right? So what we've done is, now whenever a client is going to connect to us, we'll go ahead and send this welcome message to that client. So let's quickly go ahead and connect to same port once again. Now if you notice, as soon as the client connects, it gets this welcome message from the server. Now we can go ahead and keep typing, and all those things would be received on the server side. Now a slight variation is, if you want the server side data to be stored onto a file, then we just go ahead and indirection it to the file. So let's say log file, right? So now whatever netcat server side program is going to send out to std out is going to be logged to the file. Now the reason why we are seeing this on the screen and that is not being logged onto the log file is because this is being stored onto std error. So now let's quickly go ahead and connect. Once again we get our welcome screen, and then let's connect. Hi there, this is a test, and then let's go ahead and disconnect, right? So the server side process is also disconnected, but now when we have a look at the log file, we will see that netcat has logged whatever data was sent by the client. So now we can do a very small variation of this, and that is basically, if you notice, there is one slight problem here currently. That is the fact that the server side process exits after the first client disconnects. Now a server should never exit, right? So how can we make netcat stay onto that port indefinitely? So we'll have to write a small bash based wrapper onto it, and the way to do that is this, right? We can say while true, which makes it like forever, say do, and then we'll say netcat start listening on this port, that is port number 10,000, and be as verbose as possible, right? And then let's go ahead and finish the loop. So once we start this, you'll notice something very different. You connect to Netcat, say hi there, right? Let's switch to the server side console now. If you notice, we've received the hi there, and now what? Let the client exit, right? The client has exited, but Netcat once again has started listening. The reason being is that the bash wrapper is invoking the Netcat program as soon as it exits. So let's go ahead, connect once again. Say this is a test that has been received. Now you can exit, and as soon as we exit, you'll notice that once again Netcat had been started. So this process can continue indefinitely, and in essence, Netcat is now a bounded server to this port, right? Okay. So now what other cool things can we do with Netcat?